Hello, my darlings. Micah Riot here with another episode of Ink Medicine podcast. It is November 9th, 2023. If you listened to last week's very short episode, you know that I went to Colorado to visit an old friend of mine, a client, somebody I worked on for a long time in earlier stages of my career. She came to me right as I was transitioning from black and blue to mermaid's tattoo, and the first piece we did was a mermaid. Her story was intense back then, and in some ways it's gotten more intense now. I lost touch with her. I had tattooed a very important, very deep, meaningful piece on her, for her, and then went out to tattoo some other work on her. I did a quarter sleeve after I did the first piece, and we ended up hanging out. We spent time outside the shop. I went to a birthday party of hers. She joined me at a dance party at some point, me and my, at the time, girlfriend, Mingo, in the city. I came to her family party for her kids' high school graduation. I remember joining her for dinner at a Thai place in the Soma that her sister really liked. I believe her sister was there. So we had interaction outside the shop. We were friends. And then we kind of fell off the keeping in touch wagon. I hadn't talked to her in a long time. And right around the time of the first stage of the pandemic, it was 2020, maybe it was 2021. I don't exactly remember, but I saw a post of hers where she talks about being sick, being terminal. And I reached out then and I said, I'm thinking of you. I love you. I just wanted to say that. I did not want to insert myself in her life. I did not want to be like, what can I do? Or can I see you? Or any of that. You know, people have a right to live out their last months, days, weeks, years, the way that they want to. And I figured if she wanted to see me, she'd let me know. At the time, she moved to Colorado from California. And once in a while, I would catch pictures of her doing a little bit of mild traveling with her children, doing treatments in different places, trying different things to help her survive. And it made me happy to know that she was still here. And then a couple months ago, I saw another post by somebody else that I know through her, that I'm Facebook friends with. And the person said, wrote a lovely sort of post talking about how amazing Serlina is. And I freaked out. I was like, did it happen? Is she gone? And the person said, no, she's not gone. She's still with us. But if you want to talk to her, go talk to her. She's the one you should be asking questions if you have questions. So I then reached out and I said, again, hey, I'm thinking of you. I love you. And she responded and we started chatting a little bit back and forth. And then I asked her if she would be on the podcast and for her to tell her story. And she agreed. So this is the interview we did before I left for my trip to Colorado. There's not really another preamble for this interview. The sound quality didn't turn out amazing, but you can still hear everything she's saying. I chose the most important parts. Please listen.
And then maybe I'll just turn this down a little bit. Okay. All right. So what would you like to know?
So I want to talk to you about the very beginning of our relationship, about the tattoos we did together, all of that.
Okay.
If you want to talk about it, I want to hear about what's happening with you, what the diagnosis is, etc. But that's up to you. I want to respect your privacy and all that goes along with that. But for sure, given that you're a person that I've been tattooing for like most of my career, and we did some really important deep pieces, like that's kind of go to at some point in our conversation.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
So yeah, where do you want to start? Piece, the tattoos.
Yeah, you could start from the beginning.
So how did you originally find me?
You were actually part of a different tattoo shop. I think it was Black and Blue, and someone recommended Black and Blue to me. And then I looked online at the different, artists they had. I loved your work. I reached out to you. You were about to leave there, I think. I'm not sure if I ever got tatted over there before. You went into your own shop, which was awesome. And then the rest is history. So
Yes.
that was right when actually I had lost my son. Oh my God, how crazy. Oh my God, we've come back full circle. Well, you'll realize why later, but yeah. Whoa, that's
Well, when you said the boys are in college, I was like, oh, both of your boys, are you like they're in college both in the States?
no. So, um, here it is, like in short, my son was kidnapped by his father without any notice or anything from me, went into a Muslim country, Pakistan, and I never saw them again. Thanks to the State Department and the embassy, they were able to find them by sheer luck, actually. And then we started communicating on the phone. And so, fast forward, my son is now 19. Last year, he turned 18. And I had asked his father, I'd like to come see him, et cetera, et cetera. And I had disclosed that I was really sick. And so we kind of re engaged a little bit, for a period of time. And I was very stupid and got my hopes up. And we bought our tickets. We were so excited. Jazzy and JJ, we're going to come. So both Jazzy and JJ now are, well into their 20s. JJ's about to graduate college, and my son was about to graduate, what's called his, it's not high school over there. It's like O-level kind of stuff. And anyway, 4 days before we were supposed to go on our trip, his father canceled the trip and just simply said, it's not a good time. And I was like, I've been talking about this for months. And at that point, I was just like already super weak. And I've been going through treatment for nearly a decade now. And I'm just tired, Micah. When I started all this, I was like gung ho, did everything right, lived every day like it was my last. And anyone who was in my path during that time can hopefully attest that, I did a lot of good. But you can only suppress certain things for so long. And so after that happened, we tried to tell my son the truth because I figured he's older now. And only so much can get translated, via texting and all that. And he just thought we were complete liars. And basically everything that I had always feared in my heart, he confirmed. And then he blocked us, and I haven't spoken to him since. And so this past year, I just tanked. I just was all kinds of bad, did not take care of myself. I wanted to die. I almost committed suicide a couple times. And so you just kind of go through all that, and it was just so overwhelming. I don't even know how to explain it. And all that pain, no wonder I held it down for so long. And so now coming out of the other side of it, my doctors are telling me it's time for me to start making preparations. I'm not going to go into hospice care. I'm going to go get euthanized. And so, I don't know, it just could just be fight or flight mode or what. But I don't think anything's seriously wrong with me. I think, honestly, I'm just missing Zadar. And I've made myself so sick over it. And I don't think there's any cure for me. So I'm going to go fucking see him.
You're gonna go see him?
I'm going to go see him. So before I have to go get euthanized, I'm going to go to Pakistan and I'm going to fucking go see him. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss?
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Do you know where he is?
No. So, yeah, I've got plans in place. But yeah, I'm going to go see him. And I think, just that bit of hope, I feel like, of course, physically I'm not strong, but every other part of me is just like something is like starting to like ruminate, you know? I don't know if that's ever happened to you. And it's sort of like being reborn in a way. And, you know, I've gone through all the phases of grief now. And now I'm in the next stage and I want justice. Like this man and his family have been lying to my son for years and has nothing to do that they're Muslim or about race or anything. They're just fucking bad people. And my son's there with them. And I get it. Like, you know, bad people do good things. And, but he needs to know the truth. And I just want that opportunity. And he could see me and he could very well just be like, go to hell, but I want to try. And I'd never had that opportunity before. I had Jazzy and JJ to take care of, but now I have nothing to lose. He can have me arrested. He can have me killed. I really don't care. But I'm gonna damn well try. No, I don't want the kids to go with me. I think it's a little too dangerous now. They're right there near the border of Afghanistan, so there's a lot of turmoil still. That's why it's so hard to get the visa. But I have other ways of getting a visa without having to go in through him. So I just stopped all communication with him. He's still the same, like sadistic psychopath. And it's just worrying to me that my son now is about to become a man. And I don't doubt that he was a good dad to him, but he's still a bad person. So I'm sure my son will always love him. But in my eyes, like he deserves to also see what his mother's like. I have that right. You know, I don't care what country you're in. So that's my fight now. It's not about my health or like trying to live longer. If today is the day, then today is the day. You know, I'm wrapping up all my affairs, saying all my goodbyes. But I just, you know, I just want to be able to just do this one thing. So
What as okay. So with him, you got back in touch with him. You and I did the mermaid tattoo on your belly. That was about, and then there was a private investigator that you hired and they found him, right? And you got in touch, you got to talk to him. I think you were talking to him, what, every month or so?
yeah, well, whenever his dad allowed it, sometimes it would go months. And it wasn't a private investigator. What my ex ended up doing, the way the law works is that the minute the kid goes out of the states, the FBI is no longer able to, you know, have any kind of resources to help me. So then it's up to the State Department and the embassy. And most countries, particularly advanced ones, have a treaty with the United States that says wherever the child is taken from, that kid's nationality, that's where they need to go back to and have the custodial, like, you know, issues resolved, which means Zarar should technically go back here to the States and me and his dad should like hash it out. But that's not applicable to Muslim countries. And so he took him to a Muslim country, but then a few years later, he was remarried. He had a baby. I don't know where he was going to go, but he stepped foot in a Hague country. He was in the UK. And so the minute he stepped foot there, all the freaking, you know, passports were flagged. But by the time Interpol let Scotland Yard know, or the other way around, I can't remember how it all works. My ex had already taken his connection and they stepped out. Otherwise, he would have been arrested right then and there. But they didn't have like all the documentation or whatever. So they were at least able to figure out where does he live, what's his contact information. So then the State Department worked with the embassy in the US, with the embassy in Pakistan, and that's how we started the communications. And you know, he was of course listening in. I can never say like what I want to say to my son, for sure. I mean, my ex is a like habitual liar, and so he's like, oh, I'm not listening or anything, you can say whatever you want. I'm like, yeah, right. So you know, I'll take whatever I could, though. I was at his mercy. You know, I could only speak to him when I can for as long as I can. I can only say certain things. And so, but I was still successful, I'd say, you know, in establishing a relationship with my son. He was at that point, he really wanted to see us. And I know he remembers us. I know he does. You know, he was 5 when he left here. I know that's been a long time. He's almost 20 now. But you just don't ever forget a mom's love.
No.
Mm-mm. And that's why I know, like, there, you know, his dad tells him, like, oh, we're bad Americans, and that's why he's not allowed to be here or see us. And that's not the truth. He knows this because the minute he sees us, he's going to know the truth. and that he's been lied to for so long and led to believe that he wasn't wanted, that I didn't want him. That's the worst part of it. That's, I think, what ultimately broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who fucking makes a kid feel like that? Like,
A bad person.
what I can't.
Yeah.
So, um,
I'm really happy to hear that you're going to go try to see him.
yeah, it's given me new hope. I was, I've lost a lot of my eyesight. It's hard to walk, hard to use my hands. Every once in, every once in a while, just like that, I, have trouble with speech. But I'm hanging in there. I still have more good days than bad. But before I completely, lose my wits about me, I don't want to be in a wheelchair, and I sure as hell don't want to be blind. So I want to go get euthanized out in Finland. There's this beautiful place that you can be laid down to rest. Jazzy and JJ will be there with me. So,
You have a date?
I'll just die peacefully. Huh?
You have a date for that?
No, it just depends. It's probably in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So at the rate I'm going, but we'll see. I haven't given up yet, but I do need to, if uh, all my doctors agree on something, I listen. So I'm preparing.
What does that mean for you preparing?
Well, getting the will, the house, like all that, everything for the kids, basically, that is so like grown up that, they're still have more things to learn. I want them to still have the opportunity to be, in their early 20s. I'm not going to just lay all this stuff on them. So there's just certain matters that I need to get, situated. The house mostly, because I want to leave it to the kids. My journals for the kids, videos for Zarar, a lot of videos for Zarar,
Mm-hmm.
since I
So
have really not communicating with him.
you're making like live letters to him through video
Yes,
and
pretty
recording.
much. Yeah, because you know how kids are these days, they don't read anything. So, yeah, it'll
Well,
just
they'll
be for him.
to see you, I think will be really special.
Yeah. And, stuff that involves his brother and sister too. So at least there's some record, that everything he's heard is bullshit. We love him. And all the things we've done all these years was because of him, not because we didn't miss him. I've been trying to overcompensate for over 15 years now, Micah, and so I feel like now I've just kind of shed all that skin off. It was the most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Still is. But yeah, we shall overcome.
How did you find out about having cancer?
I was on a business trip and I collapsed. And I'm a freaking workaholic, so I figured. Thankfully, I work in pharmaceuticals, particularly in oncology. And so I've had the best advice. That's why I'm not like too public about exactly what it is or anything. It's not cancer. I ended up getting cancer as a byproduct of all the treatment I've had, but that's not my underlying condition. My underlying condition is a very rare form of it's a very rare blood disease for which no one has any clue. I have multiple types of doctors, so it took years of like going, and I honestly didn't take it seriously at all because I'm like, that'll just go away. And then it got worse, it got worse, it got worse. And then I'm like, what the, like, why can't anyone figure out what's going on? So I finally did the genetic testing, and it wasn't what anyone thought it was. It's very bizarre. It's not too many people. There's only a handful of people documented in the world that's ever had it. So,
So the blood condition that you have turned into a blood cancer or a different type of cancer?
no, the disease itself didn't turn into anything. I just got cancer from radiation, because cancer or radiation and chemo can give you other cancers. So what I'm like, really? What are the chances of that? And so after that point, I thought that was like the lowest part of my life. But this last year, that was the worst.
Around your son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm convinced like no treatments or medicine or anything's really going to help me. I have to fix my heart. But first, I had to get all that shit out of my system. I cried every single day, every hour for months. I wanted to die so bad.
Yeah, that
I
is so.
drank so much. Oh my God. I think I'm made out of bourbon now.
Hey, bourbon's good stuff.
Hell yeah. Sure as hell helped me.
Helps to
So,
numb, yeah, helps to numb the pain.
yeah, it was a lot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there something about knowing that your life is so long, like, right? We all know that we're dying slowly, but you know that to a bigger extent than most people. Does that sort of mean that you have more like, I will just do what I want. If I want to drink a bottle of bourbon, I'll do it because I can.
Yeah.
Or if I want to, like that's.
Yeah. Well, not in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, I wanted to be so good. I'm going to eat everything. I was already pretty healthy to begin with. I mean, you've known me how long? For the kids' sake, like that's all I could do is stay healthy just to maintain myself
Mhm.
as a single mom and work the way I do and take care of my kids the way I do on top of all their friends. And so I loved, being a mom. And so part of that is demonstrating to my kids how to live a healthy life. That not that they necessarily took that advice, but no, they're pretty good. But I was a total health nut already. So I was like, oh yeah, I got this, I got this. Freaking running 20 miles a week, eating all this like greens. Oh my God, I just was so good. And then you go on and you go on. 7 years into it, I was freaking pissed. So yeah, after that, I was like, you know what? And then they gave me the terminal diagnoses. And so I was like, wow, even if you are so healthy and you do so much good in the world, you can still die.
Totally.
So that made me very angry. And that's when I started, kind of being like, well, fuck it. Then COVID happened. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's been a journey. I don't know, I'm just one of those who's learned to trust what, you know, my body tells me to do. And a lot of it does not make sense, but I know in the end it will. But this has definitely been a freaking confusing time. I'm everything totally off, the worst version of myself, first of all, this past year. And just, not quite there uh, as a person. I lost a lot, but I think I kind of needed to lose that part of myself.
You mean like keeping in touch and all that kind of stuff?
No, just more like I couldn't stand being around kids or animals, which I absolutely love. I hated everybody pretty much. Just not doing good things to myself. Just you know. And so and I kept asking myself, like, what is going on with me? Have I really lost it? And I really thought I did, but now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, it was all for some reason. But goddamn, did it have to be that way? I don't know. I'm sure I could have done it more gracefully, but I'm like, if you don't love me at my worst, you're sure as fuck not gonna get me at my best, and I'm pretty damn awesome.
You are pretty fucking.
It's gonna take some time though. It's gonna take some time to get there.
But that's the thing about life, right? And like the reckoning with all the shit is
Mm-hmm.
you are going to be different versions of yourself.
Absolutely, it's a huge reckoning for sure.
I hope you have lots and lots of compassion for yourself at all different parts of the journey.
I tried. I was pretty hard on myself, but I kind of was in that self-loathing, self-deprecation, you know, kind of phase. But that's part of the journey. Is the guilt. The guilt was very overwhelming. I blame myself for a lot of stuff, uh, and that hurts. A lot of it hurts.
Mm.
Hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So, but all I can hope for, is just to continue to do good. I'm starting to be a better person again and start to help the world. Not as much as I would like, but I know I still got to kind of heal myself.
What does that mean for you? The
Healing myself?
know that doing good for the world at this stage of your life?
Oh God. Well, before I left, I, you know, contributed a lot to my community, charity. I have this thing, give 30% of my earnings to my loved ones and those in need. And I've gotten a lot better about that because I just used to just give everything and including my time to people who just did not, deserve it. Um, and yeah, it's been overwhelming. This past year, I just thought about death a lot and I'm just so used to just giving so much goodness to everybody and hope and spirit and just being happy because I truly do live a fucking amazingly happy life. And I just have lost myself, or maybe I wasn't lost. Goddamn, I just was in a really dark place. And so it was really hard to like see the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry, please. I'm close. Actually, very close.
I can't see what I look like, so blame of snot on my face. But
It's just
yeah,
like green, and you look wonderful. Your skin is really very beautiful, like as always.
it's this thing, kind of close.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been very painful. But I realized that before I was doing good things because I thought I could, if I did enough good, I'd get Zarar back. And so it made me hate the world. But then I realized that's just who I am. I love fucking saving people, but now I got to do it without any ties or expectations and just do it because it makes me feel good. And, I kind of just am trying to figure out who I am all over again. But there's just certain fundamental things that won't change about me, which I'm glad. Truth, honesty, justice, fight, all those things are still very important to me.
I asked Serlina about her job.
These kids are expensive. And plus, I love my job. I absolutely love my job. I make medicine for very rare diseases and children. And whatever I can do to help the world, is particularly people like me, before I pass, I'm going to do it. And I was very successful this year, 2 very major submissions I completed. And I didn't think I could do it. And it just kind of happened that way. I started these jobs off with just, being very in the background and ended up being the complete lead. So I got to still a little bit something in me. Work must be in a different realm than like everyday life, because the minute I log off my computer and have to deal with real world people, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
We spent some time catching up because it really has been years since we talked. I told Serlina about getting married and then getting divorced, getting my dog, moving from San Francisco to Oakland, and about my new partner. Not really all that new anymore, since it's now been almost 5 years. Tell me about your sleeve. So we did like half of it, and then you got it finished later by somebody else. Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted some tribal in there. So this guy, what was his name? I have it in my phone, but he was from Hawaii and he did some work in California every once in a while. He was recommended to me by my brother. And so Joel Albanez, that's his name.
Okay.
And so he did all the tribal all around me over here. And then I decided to add more, something to represent my brother and sister who are a Gemini and a Sagittarius. So for the Gemini, I put a galaxy in the fish, and then, the fire inside the other one for the Sag. And I'm the 2 fish. And so my brother and sister are inside of me, and then all the kids are over here. So that's JJ, the water bearer, Jasmine, the Taurus. This represents Zarar, of course. And so, yeah, I want to do a unicorn on the other side, but my doctors don't want me to get a tattoo right now. So.
I will bring my stuff if you want.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I mean,
No,
are
I'm
your
not going to put you to work. I want to just have a good
hold
time and
on, but
spend
are
some
your
quality.
doctors serious? Like, if you want to get a tattoo right now, would be the time, not like in 3 months or 4 months.
True, true. Yeah,
I would be like stoked too. It would not be like work. Like, I'd be stoked.
yeah,
Me too. I'll bring stuff.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't want you to go to work and stuff, Like, come out here, just have a good time,
I
spend some time with me.
I promise you, I would be fine too. I would be happy to. So if you want a unicorn, you get a unicorn. I mean, it's what
I know. I'm like, how would I fit it though? I put on a little bit of weight these last couple of weeks. I had like no arms for a long time, but I've been really, and Jasmine's been helping me too, just like making sure I'm like constantly eating. And my body is totally changing. It took a while for me to get up, kind of readjust after treatment. So it's hard to tell like what's a residual from all the treatment and what's a residual, because we're trying to get rid of that cancer, and what is like acting as from my disease. So, because they were both, blood related. So, yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Serlina asked me about my tattoos. What new work have I gotten? She really is such a lover of body art. I talked to her about what I have gotten since we saw each other. I showed her my chest piece, my back piece, and then I came right out and asked her a question I've been wondering about because I know she's a spiritual seeker, and this is a medicine that people often use when they're very sick. You have not done ayahuasca, right?
No,
I
I
mean,
have not. And it's on my list. I almost signed up, but I'm so scared, Micah, like of the darkness, especially after what I just went through. Man,
mhm,
if I have to go through feelings like that, no. Like
mhm.
that was, I think I just need to heal just a little bit more from all that. Um, just to make sure I can come out of it. I just don't trust myself. I think I might just literally go crazy. But I've been doing shrooms, just microdosing. That's helped. I'm doing like all natural stuff, no more like meds and all that. I mean, if this is it, then whatever. I've been taking turkey tincture. My girl Ksenia has been sending me all these like things. And this one is for my mental health hawthorn passion flower motherwort.
Mhm.
Just stuff like that, snake pills, like I'll take anything. I got gems, gems on me all the time, beads, all that. I will take all the energy from all those around me and translate that, to my health. For my 40th, everyone wore a wig and I had them write me a letter. I didn't want any presents. I just wanted a letter because by then I knew I was sick, but I didn't tell anyone I was sick till 2019, right before I left California. Because I didn't want the kids. I just wanted them to graduate and then get that all out of the way. And so I told everyone to write me a letter and then I will open it when I'm 50. I'm 46 now. And so maybe I'm 47. I thought I was 48, but I'm pretty sure I'm not 48.
So
Um,
what year were you?
77. It was 23 minus 7. That's 6. Yeah, I'm 46. So yeah, I think I was just so anxious to get to 50. I just kept telling myself, I'm older than I am. So I could open those letters, but I will open them before this is all done. I mean, some people are like, you got to open that letter. You got to open it. I'm like, nope. I told you I'm not going to open it till freaking I'm 50. So if you have a dirty little thing you want to tell me in there, I'm not going to know till later.
So, like, text me now, or
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sure there's some professions of love in one or two of them, if not more.
mhm. Like people who had like big crushes on you. You mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. An opportunity to tell you how they really feel about you.
Well, in some ways, like people don't anyway, right? Like they tell you to an
Mm,
extent, but like they're not gonna fully say what they feel until you're gone. Like people do that
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
all the time. Yeah. But hey, that's what I asked for, and whether they did or not, we'll see. But I'm sure people did. And I'm sorry, I cut you off earlier. Were you saying?
Have you had a Colorado boyfriend?
Have I had a what?
Colorado boyfriend?
Oh yeah, I dated one guy here. Yeah, I love him. He and I will always love him because he loved me at the worst possible time in my life. I mean, I was puking, my hair was falling out, I was just mentally crazy, off the deep end, and I just had to break it off with him because I mean, he's a big goofball. I'm not sure if we would have lasted anyways, but God, he's beautiful. Big, you know how I like him. Big, tatted, bad. um, but yeah, I couldn't go through treatment, and it's just hard enough thinking about losing the kids. It doesn't make sense for me to be with anyone until this is all done, and I just want to be able to just focus on my son. So but yeah, there's not a lot of people my type here. It's just very, very, very like Birkenstocks and vanilla, and that has nothing to do with race. There's all different races here, but it's just like wow, I'm pretty bad, so I kind of need some like edge there. And you can always go to San Francisco for that, but you don't really get that community here. So
After we chatted about dating while sick, we touched base about what would a visit look like if I actually came to Colorado.
honestly, most days I'm just in bed, Micah. I mean, I don't even talk. I have to forewarn you. Like sometimes I just lay there and you just hold my hand, or maybe not. We'll try and eat good food while I lay there. And that's all I do. Like just look forward to a lot of TV and crime shows. If we can get out in nature, that's very therapeutic for me too. So we'll go do that. But yeah, just mostly just want to spend time with you.
We ended up having a lovely visit. I went to see Carolina for 3 nights, and in that time, we got to go to a Russian bathhouse. We soaked, it really helped her back relax and helped her pain a lot. We had food out a couple times. We had sushi one night and we had Korean barbecue another night. As far as I could tell, she was happy to do those things. She's social. She's a absolutely social butterfly. And I got to meet a couple of her friends and family members, and I also got to see a couple of my friends when I went over to Denver to visit her. So that's the update on my trip, and I hope you enjoyed getting to know this amazing human. I hope you got a sense of what a bright, sunshiny person she is. And not just bright and sunshiny, she's edgy. She's got darkness. She's got sharp corners. Really a complex and gorgeous human. I feel honored and happy to have her in my life, to know her, to have known her for the last decade. And I hope she's going to be here with us for a lot longer than her doctors think she is going to be. I haven't fully sorted through all my feelings about this trip, about this experience, and I'm sure you'll hear more about it at some other point. As I wrap up this episode, I'd like to offer you a very simple truth. Thinking and talking about death need not be morbid. They may be quite the opposite. Ignorance and fear of death overshadows life, while knowing and accepting death erases the shadow. Lily Pincus.